Well, hello. It looks like I'm a little blurry. I don't know what's wrong with the camera. There we go. It's fixing itself. Well, hello. Welcome, everyone. I am running a little late, but I had good reason. I was coming up with, through meditation, um, I was inspired to do tarot today. I'm going to do a little bit of astrology, but I was inspired to do tarot today. And with the lunar eclipse coming up, I realized I haven't done an actual tarot card spread for the lunar eclipse, so I decided to go into meditation and make one up. So let me pull this out, make sure that I'm live and that everything's okay. Hold on just a second. So I'm gonna put it right here. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. Welcome everyone. For those that are joining later, I'm going to do tarot reading for each sign. I don't know that I will do every sign today. I may do like three, and three for the next 4 days. That'll take us through Friday, but I'll be doing it live. It kind of depends because because I do it differently than a lot of other people. I'm channeling, so there's a lot of energy. So it's not easy for me to like switch from when I'm doing a big tarot spread. It's not easy for me to switch from sign to sign because I'm like channeling. So, but I mean, I'm practiced. I've been doing it all my life. So, well, not that particular thing, but I've been channeling all my life. So we'll see how it goes. Hi. Hi, Karina. Thank you for letting me know that you can actually type, that you can communicate with me. So I wanted to let you guys know that this is a special um, live today. I will be doing tarot readings, but I did my own spread for the lunar eclipse in Libra since it's coming up on the 25th. Um, so for the 25th, that's in a couple of days. We're at the 19th, so 6 days, but that'll give us for the next 4 days. I'll be doing each sign, and I'll try to get through at least three signs today. Again, I did my own spread. We'll see how it goes. It kind of depends on how deep it goes, on how hi, Cindy. It kind of depends on how deep this goes. It kind of depends on how open you guys are. I mean, when I channel, it just kind of depends on whoever's receiving it. Like you guys saw yesterday when I was talking to the Aquarius, right? Like it just kind of went deep. And when I channel, I channel. It's kind of the only way I can describe it. It's the only way I can explain it, not describe it, but explain it. So I did my own spread. For those of you that'll be watching this later, I will cut this down. So if you happen to come across the live and you just want to see the me actually channeling and not all this talking and not all this other stuff, I usually cut everything down and then put it in a video. And I'll be putting probably each sign in a video. I think I'll be doing it that way. I'm not really sure, but just look for the videos. So welcome everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I'm sorry. I just start talking when I get on here. My name is Cindy. I'm at Simply Cindi. I am a medium. I have a lot of modalities. I have a science, medical background. Um, what else? I was on here a lot full time on YouTube a while back, probably about 5 years ago, 4 years ago. And then the pandemic hit and other things went on. And so this year I've come back to go back full time. So the algorithm doesn't really know me. So if you guys, and I do want to thank you guys for sharing because I got my analytics and you guys are sharing a lot of my stuff. So I appreciate it. I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate all the share. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate you that have been there with me since 2012 or because I had another channel. I can't remember if I started it in 2012 or this one I think I started in 14. I'm not really sure. But anyways, if you've been hanging with me since then, thank you. I really do appreciate each one of you. Um, so I'm just kind of letting everybody get through. I've already shuffled the cards because they're so hard to handle. They're really slippery. We'll shuffle them a couple of times, but I have to do it very like methodically. But I shuffled them really, really good before we got on camera because I want that energy. So I'm going to talk a little bit, just a little bit uh, of astrology to kind of get you where we're going. So today is the 19th. Happy Equinox Day. This is the start of the new season. We are about to go into Aries season. Aries is a lot of Aries is a lot of, I love Aries. I'm an air sign, and a fire sign. So, I mean, I've got two air and one fire. My moon's fire. Um, so for me, Aries, if you think about it, when I get with an Aries, because I have the air and fire, I mean, what does air do to fire? It just blows it up, makes it bigger, right? So you can imagine me and Aries are like, we can just go and go and go and go, go, go. They're like great friends for me. We just have so much fun. And my daughter's an Aries. So, I mean, her son's an Aries. She's more Capricorn than Aries. But anyway, so it's Aries season. For me, that's a lot of energy. It's going to give me a lot of energy. It's going to give you a lot of energy. It's about me, 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 which we kind of need to do when we're moving through this new space that we're going to. But before we get to the new space, as we're headed that way, right? We've got to release some things. We've got to release some stuff. So that's our south node. That's the south node right here that's going on in Libra, right? That's where we're going to have the lunar eclipse in Libra. Okay, so each sign, it's going to hit you differently in a different area of your life. But the eclipse, think about what an eclipse does. It eclipses the energy, right? You can look at my other videos that really go and explain this. I'm just doing a very, very small job right now, just to kind of get us into the space of where we're going while I do these tarot readings. Um, if you want to know kind of more through the astrology about how that's going to work, you need to go to my other videos. But with this lunar eclipse coming up on Monday, I think is when the 25th is, on Monday, for a lot of us. Remember, I used the scenario of us moving into a new house. We're going to a new space and we're going to move to a new house. It's going to be a bigger, better. What do we want to do? How do we want the house? What are we bringing with us? What are we packing up? That's what we're doing now. What are we packing up and what are we leaving? It doesn't mean that, like, if you guys have moved, you know that sometimes you pack even stuff that you're not sure if you're going to use, but you're going to take it anyway to see if it's going to fit right? And that's kind of what we're doing. But there are obviously some things that you cannot take, that it's not necessary to take. You'll miss them. That washer and that dryer, they were so good to you while you were in this house, but it's time for a new washer and dryer, right? And you really loved the washer and dryer and it did you so well. But in the new space, you need a new washer and dryer. In the new space, you can't take the old dishwasher. The new dishwasher's there. Do you get what I'm saying? So there are some things in your life that you no longer need. We get so attached that we think we need them, right? And the universe, your higher self, the bigger thing that's going on here is that it's unnecessary for you to take this stuff, but you've grown attached to this stuff because it feels comfortable for you. That's the south node. It feels comfortable. And it's not, that's just in this life. We're talking about, you have stuff from other lives too. You have, and I talked about the 14 generations that you're carrying in your DNA. So you're releasing some of that stuff in this area of life right now, but it doesn't mean you have to release all of them right all at once, right? So what I've done is, and this is what the lunar eclipse is about. It's the universe helping you let go of some stuff, not because it's trying to be mean, but just because it's holding you back. It's not necessary anymore. It's not necessary for you to be treated the way you're treated. Maybe when you were a child, you needed to be, the example would be, maybe you don't tell the truth a lot because when you were a child, that was the only way that you could survive, was to make other people happy and not tell your truth, right? But you're not a child anymore. You're an adult now, and you have people around you that you can tell the truth to. Only your habit is to keep yourself safe. So you continue to not tell the truth. You're not doing it because you're being mean or you're trying to be deceitful. You're doing it because you're trying to protect yourself. But the universe is like, you're no longer there. You're an adult now. Let's change your habits. Let's change your vibration. And this is just an example. Let's change the way you think. You have people around you that will honor you. You don't have to protect yourself in that way anymore, right? But you have this habit and attachment of doing it that way because you've always done it that way and that kept you safe. Does that make sense? But you don't need it. You're just used to it. So that's why we have these eclipses. It's the universe helping us. You don't need that anymore. Let's do it this way. Let's come this way. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. So, in honor of that, and to kind of give us a space to know where we might be heading, and remember, it's an eclipse. It's the south node. It's you leaving old habits, and it's not anything that you consciously have to do. It's an eclipse. It will do it for you. Okay? So you can consciously be aware of, oh, you know what? I don't need that. And you can let that go. But you have the universe, Mother Earth, the stars, whatever, you have them helping you at this time. And that's what the eclipse is. The lunar eclipse is that. And the lunar eclipse will eclipse your timeline, eclipse your vibration, eclipse what's going on, and move you into the direction of your destiny right here. This was your destiny here. You're letting go of some of your destiny to move into here. Does that make sense to you guys? Okay. So, I'm going to look over here because I just made this spread. I made the spread this morning. I went into meditation. I had, I was inspired, and I told you guys I'm doing it differently this time. I'm not doing it like last time when I was on here. I have to be inspired wherever I go. So if I'm inspired to do tarot, then I'll do tarot. If I'm inspired to do both, I'll do both. If I'm inspired to do astrology, I'll do astrology. If I'm inspired to do Reiki, I'll do Reiki. If I'm inspired to do mediumship, that's what I'll do, right? Kind of my growth and my promise to myself, right? So, but before that, this just reminded me, let's do your vagus nerve. So we like to reset the vagus nerve here, get us into a great space. The vagus nerve helps your anxiety, which is contributes to a lot of your ailments, a lot of the headaches and the nervousness and the my tummy hurts and my back hurts and my legs hurt and all of that. And so let's like reset the vagus nerve. Let's get you into a better space. And you can do this anytime, but I like to do this to sort of get us started. So first thing you want to do is just relax your shoulders, and I want you to move your head to the right and take note. Move your head to the left and take note. You probably have some tightness in one part or the other of the neck. Usually it's one part because a lot of people lean to one side or the other. They kind of, whatever your dominant side is. So just take note of that. Then I want you to cup your hands together, and I want you to put them at the base of where your neck and your skull meet. So at the base of that, right? And I want you to look straight. I want you to relax your wings, relax them. Some of them will come this way because you need to stretch more, but that's okay. Wherever it lands, it lands. Okay. So look straight, and then I want you to move your eyes. Keep your face straight, but move your eyes to the right. Oh, I do it pretty fast. Sorry. Until you yawn, until you get a reaction. Ooh, sorry. Sorry. Until you yawn and get a reaction, right? Then I want you to do it again and move to your left, your eyes, relax until you get a response with the yawning. Okay. Sometimes it takes a little. You saw how the right side for me did really quickly. The left side is be a little bit more of a little past. And then, I am so sorry. And then, once you get the reaction, I want you to look, turn your head again and again, and you'll notice that it's reset. You'll notice that there's not the tightness. You'll notice that you're feeling a little better. And again, some of you, if you haven't done this before, if you haven't done this in a long time, it may take some minutes, but I've also asked people to add the ball where your gum line and your front teeth are, that little ball, if you'll press with your tongue against that too, that helps with your anxiety. So you can use both of those. You can do those all day long, as many times as you need. It sort of just gets you back into the relaxed state. It kind of helps your body. Remember, I said this yesterday, Saturn in Pisces with Venus, and here's Mars, here's coming Mars, is trying to let you know, what are you implementing? What are you taking responsibility with your body and your spirit, right? What's your belief system? Now that you have all this information, what are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? It's like this tarot. I'm going to give you the information. What are you going to do with it? You know, are you going to like look at 150 other tarot readers and maybe wait to get to the answer that you want? Or are you going to really pay attention where the universe is trying to tell you this and this could be going on? Pay attention and then implement what you know. Does that make sense to you guys? Can you tap again and let me make sure that you guys can, thank you. Thank you, Cindy. I just want to make sure that you guys can still connect and still, because I was having that problem with the other lives when I was trying to do it vertical, but this one seems to do okay. All right. So Aries, we are in Aries season. It is the equinox. I want you to set your intention. Set your intention. You have the rest of the year to let the surprises and the building of the new space happen for you. It doesn't always have to be doom and gloom. I told you, they want you afraid. They want you to be scared. They want you to not think that you're more than you are. They're very aware of who you are, very aware of what you can do. That's why they want you afraid. That's exactly why they want you afraid. Don't believe me? Go look at the documents that, it's everywhere. We have information now. Go look at the documents the CIA's done. It's right in your face. They tell you. Okay? Go investigate that. Go look at that. There's education and there's ancient wisdom that we have access to. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to stay in your little bubble and worry about, what they want you to worry about? Or are you going to expand? You have the rest of this year to excitedly unfold. You have the universe telling you, I'm about to eclipse for you and help you let go of what's confusing you to move you into the more expanded space, right? So be excited. Be like a child. Be excited. What's to come? What's to come? I have no idea. My life, y'all's life, has been hell. It's not been good. It's been bad. Have there been beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous times? Absolutely. But lately, over the past 4 years, as soon as you go up, you go down. As soon as you go up, you go down. But that doesn't mean that it's going to stay like that. It's us going into this new space. Be excited for it. Be happy for it. And with that, I'll get started before I go on a rant. Okay, so the first the first sign that I picked to do is Virgo. Now, this is a new spread. I just did it this morning. This is for the lunar eclipse. Okay, so for Virgo, bear with me because I'm going to kind of tell you what the spread is about. So because we're going into this lunar eclipse with Libra, Virgo, in relationships or partnerships, Where do I stand? Okay, so this is for Virgo. In relationships and partnerships, where do I stand? That's card number 1. Okay, and you have the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, in relationships and partnerships or partnerships, where do I stand? You have the 8 of Pentacles. That's actually a good thing. Okay, and then the second, and again, forgive me, I have to look over here because I wrote everything down because I just invented it. And then card number 2 is for, and this is for Virgo, for those of you, this is for Virgo. What is ready to come out of the shadows and be seen? What is ready to come out of the shadows and be seen? You have the Star card. What is ready to come out of the shadows and be seen? And then card number 3 is what will be eclipsed over the next 4 months? What will be eclipsed over the next 4 months? You have the Lovers. I kind of told you guys that. Like, I'm feeling if you don't look at this, I see that you are looking at it though, but I'm feeling like if you don't look at what you really need to look at, it's gonna like slap you in the face. I felt that the other day. I tried to tell you guys. And then number 4 is what opportunities will come about because of this eclipse? Not just opportunities, but what growth and or opportunities will come about because of this eclipse, right? That you'll be working through in the next 4 to 6 months. You have the Hierophant upside down. Sorry. You have the Hierophant reversed. Okay. It looks like you are separating from systems and the way that you've done things in the past. That's really good, Virgo. Okay, so the first question was, in relationships and partnerships, where do I stand? You have the 8 of Pentacles. I'm just kind of want to look at this for a second before I start to, well, I've already started the channel, but before I start to explain it to you guys. So, where do you stand? What's ready to come out of the shadows? Ooh. Y'all got some eye-opening stuff coming. What will be eclipsed? And okay. So I'm seeing here in your first position in relationships and or partnerships, and for you guys, I feel like it's both. I feel like there's business and then there's personal. I feel both. Okay. Like both are changing for you guys. And I feel like with the 8 of Pentacles, you have been paying attention or you begin to pay attention. I see this a couple of ways. With some of you, I see that the business part is further along than the personal part, but that's what you've done is you've like hyper focused on one and ignored the other, right? Yes, it's best to listen to your rising. But you can listen to all 3, sun, moon, and rising, to kind of get a bigger, fuller perspective, if that makes any sense. Like your rising to me, your ascending to me is where all the physicalness, it's the most accurate that will show you personally. The sun is what you will be attached to more. So you'll understand it better through your sun because you identify mostly with your sun. Unless you're older like me and you've kind of grown into your ascending, right? And your moon is where you'll feel it. Your moon is where that emotional stuff will come in and the way that people will bring that to you. Does that make sense? Okay, so back to this, and I'm sorry, I'll try not to look over here at you guys talking. Okay, so the 8 of Pentacles, I feel like it's 2 ways. I feel like a lot of you hyper focused on either the business partnership, the work, that, those relationships, and then you ignored your personal because that's what you should be changing, but it's like you couldn't do both. You had to hyper focus on one. Okay. So you either did it in your job or you either hyper focused to personal with your lover, your partner, your family, your all of that, and then ignored work, or you hyper focused on your career, those relationships, and ignored your personal. That's what I feel. Either way, you're an 8, so I feel like you're sort of balancing this. That was probably until about 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I feel like you're more balanced now. I feel like you have been paying attention. I feel like things have finally come about where you're like, now I really have to focus on this. I really have to like do something about this. And what do I do? And I don't know what to do. And sort of you're focused on this. You are an 8 with this. And then the second one. So I feel like you're okay where you're standing. I feel like, well, honestly, you're in the perfect space that you're supposed to be in where you're standing. We all are. But I feel like you kind of see that. I feel like you kind of get it. I feel like I do feel like y'all are being very brave. I feel like you're like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going to do the best that I can. Yeah, I do feel like that. It makes my heart warm. I feel like that. Um, but you're in a good spot. You're going to be working on this like consciously. You're going to be working on this. Okay. So what's ready to come out of the shadows and be seen? I think a lot of this stuff, and you've got the star card. Um, I see this two ways. Because you guys know normally the star card, I see them like giving you a present. But I don't feel like that this time. With the star card, I feel like as you are focusing, there is not just, how do I say this? You're so critical of yourself that you think, if I delve into this, then I'm just going to find problem after problem after problem after problem. And it almost gets overwhelming, and that's why you choose to ignore, right? And I think what's getting ready to shadow, the shadow that's getting ready to be lit up so that you can see, is that you are not as broken as you think you are. Like, I can say that to you, but you guys don't, I don't think you understand that you really are not. It's not as bad as you think it is. It's not, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like as you open this up, I'm feeling like as the shadow comes out, yes. Have some bad things happen to you? Have you done some bad things? Yes. Um, or some not so nice things. I wouldn't say horrible things, but not so nice things. Yes. But you're so overly critical that I feel like you think it's worse. It's not even think. It's like you feel like, no, it's going to be worse. I already know it's going to be worse. And you are intuitive, so you think you're getting that right, and you're not. Um, I feel like as you open this up, I feel like as the shadows come out, I feel like you'll feel more relieved, and you'll realize that things aren't so bad, that it's almost like there's not always a problem. And you're thinking, if I open this up and I look in this direct, it's one problem after another, and then just more is going to come and more is going to come and more. It's not. That's the surprise. That's the star. That's the shadow stuff that's coming up, is that you're going to realize you're further along than you are, and you're not broken. You're not. You're just sometimes a little misguided. That's all. That makes sense? Okay. And then number 3 is, what will be eclipsed in the next 4 to 6 months? You have the lovers. So not only am I seeing this 8 of Pentacles that you're trying to work on, and then I just explained the star card to you, how it's not as bad as you think it is. But you have the lovers. And to me, the lovers has always been the good and the bad of a relationship. So you will be focused on relationships and the way that you're handling them. And again, it's going to be more balanced. That's the Libra part for you. It's the balance. Like, because you've been ignoring one and not the other. And I feel like this eclipse will either, this is what I'm feeling, will either take something away so that you can balance this. So if you're working too much, then it's going to take that away where you can't work too much and you have to focus on your personal life. If you focused on your personal life and ignored your career, then that's going to be like cut off. Like, I'm not going to say people are going to die or anything, but like you're not going to have time to do it. You're going to get a big project or whatever this is, you're going to be more balanced, but it's going to teach you that you can do this in a very balanced way. The Lovers to me isn't all this, oh, it's so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. The Lovers to me is like, there's good and then there's bad. It reminds me It reminds me of what my husband told me when we were, I think you guys have heard this. It reminds me of what my husband told me when we were engaged. He took me to a beautiful dinner on the water at night. It was very romantic. And then, I was like, "Oh, I love you, blah, blah, blah." And he said, can't believe I'm telling you all the story. He said, "I know that you love me and I love you too, but it's not always going to be this way. And I want you to promise me that in 20 years, when you roll over and you can't stand me, that you'll still love me and let me know." That's what this reminds me of. And it didn't take 20 years, it took 7. It's like, it's once the feels go away and you have to take the responsibility and you have to, it's not about like, "Oh, well, I just don't like that person anymore, so I'm leaving," right? No, you still love the person. And even though you don't like them that day, you still commit. It's a commitment. That's the Lovers. And that's where you're getting to. That's what I feel like you'll be working through, working on. And I feel like the eclipse is going to make it like, again, balanced, right? Or maybe because remember, we are in Aquarius energy because of what I'm feeling with this last card, the Hierophant, and it's upside down. What opportunities will come about because of this eclipse, right? With the Hierophant upside down, I feel like you are not where you are used to doing it the correct way because there's a system, because there's an organization, marriage, dating, um, what else? I'm trying to think of work, a career, like a system in the career with the medical field, the healthcare field, the teacher field, whatever this is, like there's systems there. I feel like you're going to come up with a way, like maybe you understand through, if it's relationship, right? If it's personal and it's relationship and you're trying to decide, do I want to get married? I do love this person. What, I'm kind of feeling that, like, but it's a lot. Maybe because I need my space sometimes, but I don't want to offend them. Maybe you do, because I am feeling Aquarius here. It's Aquarius energy. Maybe you do figure out a way to be truthful about, like, "I'm sorry that I am not telling you the truth, but I don't want to hurt your feelings, but I'm trying to work on that." And maybe you guys come to some sort of resolution where, I don't know, remember I told you it's Aquarius energy. Like, we're talking, you could be living with your adult children and your husband could be in a different house. Like, this is Aquarian energy, right? That's just an example that I'm getting. Another example would be like, I don't want to work the 40 hours. I do need to make this money, but maybe I get into this project or do it this way. It's going to be very different. You're going to be escaping. That's what's going to be happening. Your life is changing. You're going to be escaping the normal 9 to 5 or 40 hours a week or whatever this is, because a lot of you don't. Oh, yeah. A lot of you feel, I don't have enough resources, so I'm going to work triply hard to get the resources, because that's the only way that I know. Is that correct? I feel like that's correct. What's going to happen is you're going to come to an understanding that you don't have to, because we're not in the same space. It's not going to look like it always was. Like in the past, if you had to work 40, 50, 60 hours to make that money, if you try to do that now, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter if you work 40, 50, 60. It's not going to be enough, because that's not the way you're supposed to be doing it. And that's what you're going to come to understand. That's what you're going to come to understand. Thank you, Parks, for letting me know. I could feel that it was right. So in this eclipse, you're understanding a different way to do things, and you'll be working on that for the next 4 to 6 months. That help? I hope that helped. Okay. Now, the next one, I hope that helps, Virgo. Yeah. I do feel like you're going to get opportunities. But let me tell you that, and let me tell you this, because take it from me, Virgo South Node, who tried to do it that way. It's not going to work. That's what they were showing me. They were like, it's you all over again. Don't tell them not to do that. Do not. I'm telling you, take it from me. Don't think you can work triply hard to make more money, or work triply hard on your, like shower, like if it's even personal and you're working on a relationship, like shower them with a relationship, and it's going to make it better. You cannot do it the same way that you've done it before. You can't. It's not this energy. It's a different energy. So either you can take it from me and don't do it that way, which means if you're thinking about doing something, do the opposite. That's how I worked it. Do the opposite. I know it's going to go against every bone in your body. I know it is. Trust me, I know it is. But that's the way to do it, because you're going to end up working 50, 60, 70 hours and still have nothing and be in worse shape than you were. I can tell you that for a fact. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? And in your relationships, do not overdo it. You have to be, it's time for you to be authentic with them if you need the space. If you're trying to tell the truth at some points, instead of letting them assume that that it is the truth, which is your way of saying, well, I didn't really lie, right? It's not going to work out. You have to do it differently. It's time. It's time. You'll be working on this, though. We got 2 years, but this one's going to be a little bit more pronounced, right? Yeah, but I can tell you by the Hierophant upside down, it's you have to do it differently than you did it before. You have to. It's just not the same. Trust me, I know it's going to be very difficult. Trust me, I can remember the feeling. I can still remember the feeling of like, oh my God, I just want to do it that way, but I already know not to do it that way because I already messed it up. Like every bone in your body wants to do it that way, because that's the South Node. That's what you've been doing for lifetimes. That's what you know to do. You can't do it that way. You're letting go. And to make it even bigger, why are we letting go? Why are we letting go of that part? Well, maybe it's because you said, I don't want to work so dang hard. I want to have plenty. I'm not trying to be wealthy, but I want to have enough. I want to be okay. I want to have some peace. I want to have some happiness. I want to have some, and I don't want to have to work all the time. Maybe that's what you said. And that's where you're going, to do it in a different way. We all are. But we're having the birth pains, you know? Well, here we go. Okay. Next, next I picked Aries. Okay. So Aries. Yeah, I think the way that this is going, because that took like 20, 30 minutes, and mine do take a long time. Uh, I'm probably only going to get to do three, but we'll do three today, three tomorrow, three the next day, like until we get to 12 on Friday. Okay. So I apologize for not being able to do it like all at once, but again, because I'm channeling, I want to give you the best. And doing it more than that is just not going to give you the best of me. I want to give you the best of me. Okay. Yeah, she said you're reading my life. Oh, hi from the Philippines. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay. Somebody asked a question because this slipped out. So whatever question you asked, here's the King of Cups. Somebody asked a question because that came out, flying out. Somebody was asking questions in their head. It could have been several of you that did. So the King of Cups has his heart settled. He's been through a lot and he's had his heart devastated, like way devastated, but he's come through it. And his talent and his gift was that even coming through it, he's not jaded. He can still open his heart. Now, whoever this was, however many of you asked whatever this was about you opening your heart again, about you loving in a way that you hadn't loved before, about you understanding that there still is, I'm going to say there still is love out there for you, whether that love is career, whether that love is another person, whether that, and I do feel like some of you are finally coming to this space where you're like, I could do it alone, but I don't really want to do it alone. It'd be so nice to have somebody here. Like I kind of feel like you're getting there. But anyway, that's the King of Cups. Okay, so let me second here. All right. Aries. So Aries is in relationships and partnerships. Where do I stand? You have the 10 of Cups, Aries. So it looks to me like you're so happy and gleeful, and and I'm not necessarily seeing that you're happy because you have a lover or a husband or a wife or a partner or whatever. I'm just talking about you're pretty good with your relationships. You're really happy with the people that you have around you. I do feel like you are in that playful, joyous mood, the one that I love to hang out with as a Gemini and as a Sag and as an Aquarius. We love to hang. I love Aries. So I do feel like you're in that playful, jokey, your heart is open, it's filled, you're content. That's the word, you're content. Okay. That's where you're at now. But I do sense that because you feel like you're moving into a different direction. I do sense that I do feel that you sense that. Okay. That's where you're at now. Where you stand with relationships into this lunar eclipse. Okay. The second question is, what is ready to come out of the shadows in this lunar eclipse? What's ready to come out of the shadows and be seen? So, what's ready to come out of the shadows and be seen? That's crazy. Y'all got the Eight of Pentacles too. And I shuffled. Y'all heard me shuffle. So, the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like something that you guys have been working on behind the scenes is going to it's going to come out. For some of you, I feel like you didn't think you were going to get this thing. So this thing from work, from your career, from your resources, from your whatever is coming out. It's going to be seen. So you're going to get accolades, you're going to get the position, you're going to get the notoriety, you're going to get the money. You're going to even get the person. That make sense? This is Aries. Okay, and the third is what will be eclipsed. So what's going to be eclipsed? What are we walking away from? What are we leaving behind, Aries, and moving into? What is going to be eclipsed? How's the universe helping us? What's going to be eclipsed? I feel like the Page of Cups. So you got the Page of Cups. That's going to be eclipsed. I feel like you know that this person or this thing is not good, but you're willing to like give it a try. But that's the old you. I think that's going to be eclipse. I think this way of just free willy-nilly starting relationships or starting collaborations or starting projects because you're just like me, right? And you don't think about the fact that you got to like actually finish them or follow through. I feel like that's going away. I feel like you're more focused and you're more intentional and you're going to be following through, which is the Eight of Pentacles, following through. Okay. And then the fourth is what opportunities, what growth and or opportunities will come about because of this eclipse. And you have the Temperance. So I do feel like you get overjoyed. I'm just going to look at these cards real quick. I feel like and that is you, Aries. You're like, oh, when you see something or you are around people or you get inspired, but it's like overjoyed, right? But what you find out is it's fire. It's the fire that started quickly and then kind of goes out quick, right? So you have this follow through issue. And in the second, what's come out is what's going to come out of the shadows, what's going to be reflected to you is that you've got a lot of open stuff that you need to follow through on to be able to. Do you see the cup being poured? It's almost like you start a project or you start a something, you get really energized about it, you're really enthused, you're really focused, and then you start getting the flow of the universe to help you and people help you and things come about, and then you just like walk away from it to leave it alone. It's like you're like, yeah, I'm done with that. And there's so many gifts, opportunities, resources that are in those things that you started. And I feel like that's why the Page of Cups is going to be eclipsed. Like, it's not for you. It's not about starting anything new. It's about finishing or letting go of those things that you really don't want anymore. Does that make sense? Like, there's some projects that you have opened that you kind of walked away from, but are going to be coming back. But what's going to be eclipsed is the unnecessary parts of that. Like some of like if you started 100 projects, 50 of them are going to go away. That's going to be eclipsed. Does that make sense? But what you're understanding, what needs to come out of the shadow is that you need to continue to work on this. You need to be at the 8. You need to continually work through it and finish it out. You need to because there's things in there. I feel like your gifts are in there. I feel like your resources are in there. And I feel like you're about to get to your resource and then you walk away from it because you're like, that's too much work. Oh, I can't do it anymore. Oh, I'm tired. Like you're not inspired anymore, so you walk away. Does that make sense, Aries? Yeah. And I feel like you have such enthusiasm and you have such good energy when you start this. It's like even starting this lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, like you're so excited and what's going to come about and da 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 da. But then, like it fizzles out. This is what this is. And I know, Aries, you're a cardinal. I know it's hard. You're the start of, but you have to learn to like follow through. Same thing with your love life. If you have a Venus and Aries, like you got to follow through. You got to keep going. It's like that, what I was saying earlier, like at the time where you roll over 7, 10, 20 years later and you're like, oh, hell no. That's when you have to stay. That's when you have to stay. Okay, Aries, I hope that helps. All right. So, and then the last one is my Gemmies. So, Gemini. And then again, I will be on tomorrow and I'll do 3 more, maybe even 4. Okay. I might do Sagittarius. It depends on how this Gemini goes. Okay. I may be able to do Sagittarius. I may be able to do Sagittarius. But let's do Jimmy's first. Okay. Yeah, because we have like several Sagittarius here right now, so I think I can do Sagittarius. Could you guys tap the screen? Let me know that you can still hear me. Let me know everything's okay. Let me know that you can still communicate. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Tapping the screen really helps. So kind of lets me know. Okay, perfect. Thank you. When I kind of look over there and see that the hearts are going, I'm like, okay, everything's okay. It's because we had such issue with the lives last week that I'm like constantly over here looking. All right. All right, Jimmy. My Gemini. Now, y'all heard me. Shuffle these cards. Thank you so much for letting me know that you're there. Appreciate it. Yeah, even an emoji, a tap, anything helps. Because when I look over there, I'm like, ooh, can they hear me or not? Okay. All right, Jimmys, here we go. Question 1. In relationships and or partnerships, where do you stand? Nowhere. I'm just kidding. Oh my God. You have the transformation. You have death. You're like, I'm freaking ready. Like, I'm tired of this phase. That's how I feel. Look, I see you guys. I see you guys on the ground. See you guys on the ground. You're like, I'm dead. I'm done. I'm tired of this phase. You're ready for transformation. You're ready and open and listening, and you're like, what can I do? How can I help? It needs to move along. I'm tired of this stupid phase. Like, that's what I'm feeling with you, Jimmys. You're like, yeah, I see the king, but where is he? I see the knight, but where is he? Like, I can sense him. I know that stuff's coming. I know that I've worked so hard, but we need to like hurry this up. That's what I'm feeling with you guys. That's where you're standing. I feel like that with your job. I feel like that with your career. I feel like that with relationships. I feel like that with where you're living. I feel like that. I just feel like you're ready. It's time to go. Like you're just sitting here waiting. You've had some big transformations, but it's all been inner transformation, and a lot of the outer has been not kind, where you're so used to being so lucky. And yes, you've had some luck, but it's not like it used to be. And you want it back like it used to be, if that makes any sense. Okay. And then the second is what is ready to come out. So what's ready to come out of the shadows and be seen by you about people mirroring you? Okay. And that is the Knight of Cups. Okay. So you have the Knight of Cups. So again, like I said, you are ready for this offer. You are ready for opportunity. You have been working really hard, like whatever it took. No, if you didn't sleep, if you didn't eat, if you were just invested, you've done what you're supposed to do. And that's the thing. You're kind of mad a little bit because you're like, I've done what I was supposed to do, universe. Where is this? I think I said this to you guys the other day. It's like timing. And you're like, I've done my part. Now where's your part? That's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like you're waiting for this opportunity. Mm, yeah, but that's going to come out of the shadow. Remember, you're going to see it. It's going to come. So I'm excited for you guys because it's what's going to be reflected back to you. So the opportunity that you have been waiting for, the moving forward and the letting go of, and some of you, this is not everybody, but some of you, Jimmys, have had to learn patience. And that's what's going to be looked at again is the patience because you're really pissed, some of you, that it hasn't gone as fast as you think it should go. Okay. So, three is what will be eclipsed over the next 4 to 6 months. And I was kind of already going there. I was feeling that, but I wanted to turn a card over. Yeah. So, what's going to be eclipsed is the Ace of Cups. I feel like for you guys, what I was just talking about, the starts that are coming, you have to learn patience. You have to learn timing. You have to learn, and it's really hard for Geminis because y'all are so lucky and things did used to come easy to you. You didn't think that they were coming easy, but now you realize, yeah, things did come easy, is easier for me. I'm not saying you didn't have trauma or tragedy. I'm just saying you knew how to work with the universe with manifesting easily and you didn't even realize you were doing it, right? So, what's happened in the last 4 years is that that's not been happening. And you've done, so you went back and you're like, well, let me try A, B, C, and D. And you've been doing that. Well, let me try C, B, E, and D. Let me try, like you've been doing all kinds of things to try to make this go. And it's not come about. And it's because you've had to learn patience. I, I can hear him saying, well, why do I have to learn patience? I don't know. It's because your soul wants to help you understand what it's like to work with other people and yourself in a life where everybody is coexisting. I mean, that's the best explanation I can give you for right now. But either way, what's going to be eclipsed is the starts and stops of, because it's the Ace of Cups, it's like the starts of things that aren't really going to come about for you. So, how do I say this? I feel like what will be eclipsed is this whole thing about, well, I thought I wanted that, but really I've decided I want this because you've changed your mind. So there's no more starts to do. I hope I'm saying this right. There's no more starts to do. Okay. The opportunities will just come to you where you don't have to do much. That's what's going to be eclipsed, is you don't have to push this energy anymore. You don't have to try to make something happen anymore. That hasn't happened for you in a long time. That's what's going to be eclipsed, is that energy of you having to push, you having to like do extra, you having to like work in a different way. Does that make sense to you guys? That's what's going to be eclipsed. Again, this is what's coming for you. You already are going to get this. This is what's been seen. This is what's going to come out of the shadows. You don't have to do anything. The transformation is here. Okay. I know y'all are tired. I know some of y'all are pissed. Okay. So what growth and or opportunities will come about because of this eclipse. So I've kind of already mentioned this because you're already in that energy. Gemini, y'all are, a lot of people don't understand how wise y'all are. Y'all are really wise and evolved. But it's because you're so playful, people don't realize you're so evolved and wise, but you really are. Because you're already standing in where you should be standing. Like, I don't know how to explain this. Like, you're already ready to go. Where other people are like, where am I going? You're like, all right, I'm already ready. I don't know how to explain that you are evolved enough to know that and wise enough to know that. Okay, so what growth and or opportunities will come about because of this eclipse for you? Good for you, Gemini. You're going to have notoriety. You're going to get the accolades. You're going to get the resources. You're going to get and I know as I'm telling you all that, you're like, I can't curse. BS, right? But that's what's happening in this next 4 to 6 months. That's the growth that's going to come about. That's the thing that you have been waiting for. That is actually coming. But you don't have to believe me because my higher self is like, they're not going to believe you because I don't even believe you. He's joking with me, but you know what I mean? Like, nothing has happened so far. And so you're like, I've done it all. I'm kind of waiting. But that's actually what's going to happen. The Six of Wands is for you. So the Six of Wands is telling me that those opportunities are coming in the next 4 to 6 months. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to overthink it. Oh gosh, how can I help it? Oh gosh, what can I do? Oh gosh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, maybe if I learn this, or maybe if I do that, or maybe if I do it this way. You don't have to do any of that. It's coming for you. You're letting go of having to overthink, having to overdo, having to push that. That's the only way I can describe it, is having to push that energy. The whole anxiety about, did I do it right? Did I do enough? I'm going to try to make it happen. That's going to be eclipse. You're going to be in a better space where you're not going to be trying to push. You're going to be receiving. That makes sense, Gemini? Okay. I don't think I have any Geminis here on live. All right. So the last one I'm going to do is Sagittarius, because we have several Sagittarius here. I am going to do Sagittarius. And then I'm going to get off. And I will be back tomorrow. Or we'll do the next 3 or 4. Okay. Again, I'm not doing all of them today because I am channeling. And that's a lot of energy to go through. I want to give you the best of me. And like I said, I am not doing this like I did before. I've come back to YouTube. I'm doing it differently. Okay, now that I'm shuffling, can you guys hit the hearts, tap the screen so that the hearts will come out and I can see that you guys are still there. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. For those of you that have been able to, like, because I know a lot of y'all are working and you're kind of like taking a break to watch me. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you joining me every day. I appreciate you guys commenting, hanging in there with me. Ooh. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, Saggies. Here we go. Let me cut these real quick. Get in your energy. Y'all are shaking your head. I don't know why y'all are shaking your head, but y'all are shaking your head. Like you want to know, but you don't want to know. Okay, here we go, Sagittarius. So the first question is, in relationships and or partnerships, where do I stand? Where do I stand? Oh, you have the Six of Swords. So it looks like, ooh, I see two things. Y'all have been through the ringer with relationships, but some of y'all did this to yourselves and you knew what you were doing. While others are like, what did I do to deserve this? Either way, you're coming out of the darkness. This is where you're standing. So you're seeing the light in relationships. That's all types of relationships. Because some of you it's work, no, for all of you it's all types. I feel like for all of you it's both personal and business and friendships, and like it's all types. I don't feel like one more than the other. But I see that you are finally getting settled with accepting who you are and how to use that in relationships instead of it being used against you. You actually using that and being accepted for who you are. And you're coming out of the darkness with that. You're coming to light. I feel like that's where you're standing. You're like seeing it better. You're not seeing that you're the problem because you weren't the problem. But you'll tend to be like, oh, it was me. But no, it wasn't. It was just a different understanding that you had to understand. So you're coming out of that. You're coming out of the darkness. I feel like, and this is not just relationships, but I do feel like in relationship to money, relationship to resources, relationship to people, relationship to friendship, relationship to lover, whatever this is, like I'm telling you, it's all of it. You're coming out. You're bringing your sword, you're bringing your experiences, and you're in a better space. You're not in the best space yet, but you're in a better space. Okay, that makes sense. Second is, what's ready to come out of the shadows and be seen? Take a deep breath. It's ready. You have the Lovers. I feel like, I'm gonna say this because I'm feeling this. For some of you that have been single, I feel like it's coming. I feel like love's coming after you. I feel like, I feel like, yeah, I feel like love's coming after you. I feel like it's getting close. I feel like I'm not even gonna say, oh, you're gonna meet somebody, but I can feel like it's a train coming after you. That's why I was like, ooh. I feel like even though you have a better handle about relationships, about your resources, about your relationship to money, about your relationship to resources, about your relationship to people, even though you can see that you're in a better space with it, I feel like with this lovers, if it doesn't have to do with the single people that I just felt, I feel like with this lovers, what's going to be seen is a better relationship. Like it's getting even better. I feel like you're going to look at what needs to be looked at and put the energy into what needs to be done. But this isn't a very different way. This isn't like, okay, I'm just gonna do it because that's the best way to do it. I feel like your heart is actually in it. Okay. So that's what I feel like the shadow part is coming out of you realizing you don't have to be forced into any type of relationship. I know this sounds weird. Don't have to be forced into any type of relationship because that's the thing to do. You are actually wanting, and I'm not just talking about with another person. I'm talking about the relationship you have to earth, the relationship you have to resources, the relationship you have to money, the relationships you have to your job. These are all different types of relationships, and you're realizing that you don't have to go kicking and screaming. You're going to actually go with an open heart, if that makes any sense. Yeah, that's what's going to be coming out of the shadows. Number 3 is what will be eclipsed over the next 4 to 6 months. So what's going to be eclipsed? The 5 of Cups, which makes sense. So the 5 of Cups to me, when I'm looking at this with you coming out of the shadows, I feel like y'all are coming out of the shadows. And with the 5 of Cups, I feel like what's going to be eclipsed is this. This is going to sound bad, and people are not going to believe me when I say this. But I feel like your Eeyore, do you know who Eeyore is? Um, I'll let you guys answer that. Do you know who Eeyore is? With Winnie the Pooh? Okay. With Eeyore, with this Eeyore energy that you've had, and I'm telling you, people are going to believe that you've had this, or believe me when I say it, because you're a Sag and you're always optimistic and you don't let people know. But you are, and you have been having this Eeyore attitude, this Eeyore uh, energy, this Eeyore energy of like, oh my God, here we go. One more thing. Like, it's like Eeyore. That's what I'm seeing. And I feel like that's going to be eclipsed. I feel like you're finally going to feel better. I feel like that energy is going away. I feel like um, things are going to be happening so that you don't have to feel this way anymore. That's what I feel like. It's going to be eclipsed with this lunar eclipse. You're walking away from the energy of that's no longer serving you. It doesn't serve you to, even if it's behind the scenes and nobody sees it, it doesn't serve you to be in that space for long periods of time. And you've been in that space for a long period of time. And I know a lot of people don't know this about you because you only show them the smiles and the happiness and the everything's going to be fine because you're so optimistic, right? But you still have this attitude, and that's going to be eclipsed. That makes sense. And then the last is for you, what opportunities and or growth will come about because of this eclipse? So what opportunities and or growth will come about because of this eclipse? You have the Justice card. So finally, you are going to get your justice, which means things are going to start balancing in your direction. They've been bouncing away from your direction for probably 2 years. It hasn't been the full 4 years. It's been up and down for you guys. But it got really rough in these last 2 years. And I feel like that's kind of going away. I feel like with this eclipse, the opportunities, like it's your time, it's your space, and even for those of you that have contracts, inheritances, stuff like that, I do see that. I see that coming for some of you. I feel like you're going to be lucky in money again. That's what I'm feeling with this. Okay. So, yeah. I hope this helps. I appreciate each one of you. Yeah. And I will pick this up tomorrow. Yeah. I'll pick this up tomorrow where we'll start another 3. We'll do a little bit of, like we did today, a little bit of astrology, and then I'll do the rest of, I'll do three or 4 signs, kind of depends. But for those of you that don't want to watch the whole thing again, I'll cut this down into a couple, I'll put a couple signs in one video. Okay. All right. I love you, love you, love you. Yeah. Depressed character. Yes. Yes. I love you, love you, love you. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for staying here. Thank you so much for showing up with me every day. And I will see you guys tomorrow.